Hello children, in this video I will discuss another very important phase in the human reproductive cycle, and that is known as menstrual phase or menstrual cycle, also called as ovarian cycle. This cycle is a characteristic feature of primates. That means it is seen only in human females and ape females. So only these two groups, which are kept under primates, show this, and in others there is a slight variation, and that is known as estrous cycle. We'll talk about this, we'll take up estrous cycle later. So this is a characteristic feature of human beings. This cycle actually represents the changes which take place in the female reproductive system, and these changes are required in the body so that the female is able to receive the sperm so that fertilization can take place, and if fertilization takes place it results in the formation of zygote and the implantation so that embryonic development can take place. So that means this cycle basically prepares for fertilization and pregnancy if at all that takes place. So this is actually the preparation that is required. Another very important thing is that this cycle, that is menstrual cycle or ovarian cycle, it starts at puberty, and there are these cyclic events. There are certain cyclic events that take place continuously in a particular period. That period we call it as mensum. So mensum, and that is how this word you can see is given, that means a month. It has been derived from the word mensum, means a month. So these cyclic changes, they take place in a month's time. Actually the perfect cycle is completed in 28 days, but this number is highly variable. In females that is maybe plus minus 2, 3, 4 days, which is very common. That comes closer to a month, and that is why mensum, a month, and the name menstrual cycle is given. So it starts at puberty and it is going to continue till menopause. The cycle may remain suspended during the period of pregnancy. That means during gestation period of 9 months there is no menstrual cycle. The reason is that the embryo is already developing in the uterus, so there is no need of the formation of new egg, and that is why the cycle remains arrested. It remains suspended during the lactation period also. After parturition, when mammary glands are producing milk, that period is known as lactation period, and the cycle remains suspended during that time period also. This cycle permanently stops at menopause. Menopause is complete suspension or arresting of this cycle. The age when menopause takes place is around 52 years. It is variable, it may be 48 to 52. This does not happen suddenly, it is a gradual process. Let us see the changes during menopause. So the estrogen level, the hormone estrogen level, it falls down. Then there are hot flushes. Due to decrease in the hormone, feeling of heat is generated in the body. Ultimately it comes to the face region. So that is called as hot flushes. Then there are mood swings because of hormonal changes. It is seen in the behavior also. In female humans there is a little bit of testosterone which is present, but amount of estrogen is so high that the little bit of testosterone has no effect on female's body. But during this phase, when the estrogen level is falling and almost becomes zero, that little bit of testosterone might show its effects. So these are the changes which might appear not necessarily in all the females would show these changes, but as estrogen becomes 0, testosterone level is going to show its effect. Those changes are: few hair appear on the face, which is a typical male characteristic, and it is the effect of testosterone. So all those all throughout the life, estrogen level is maintained very high. Testosterone shows no role or symptom, but at this stage testosterone may also show some characters like facial hair, baldness, etc. That is loss of hair. So these are all secondary sexual characteristics which are seen in male, but they are only seen when the estrogen level is low and testosterone level goes higher. So they might appear during menopause. Now we will see menstrual cycle. So this menstrual cycle is completed in 4 phases. There are changes taking place in the uterus, in the ovary. There are hormones which are produced by the ovary, and the hormones, there are some hormones which are produced by anterior lobe of pituitary. So when we will study the cycle in detail, we will see all those changes at different levels simultaneously in menstrual cycle in detail. Menstrual cycle is divided into 4 phases. We can start with the proliferative phase because that is a repairing phase, but normally we start with the day 1 when the cycle begins. So the first phase is known as menstrual phase. During this phase there is vaginal bleeding. Normally it lasts from 4 to 5 days. Second phase, that is after the lining of uterus is lost, then the repair starts, and that is due to the hormone produced from the follicles. So the second phase is known as follicular phase, and at this time the follicles are dividing and growing, so this is also known as proliferative phase. We will see some more names afterwards, and this proliferative phase lasts for 10 to 12 days. Third phase is known as ovulation phase or ovulatory phase. Actually it is not a phase, it is just a day or the time when ovulation takes place. It takes place normally on the 14th day of the cycle, but as it is said, it shows variation in human female, so it is not necessary that it takes place on the 14th day, but if we calculate, so perfect 14 days, then ovulation should take place on the 14th day, and after this, that is from the Graafian follicle, that secondary oocyte will be released, and Graafian follicle remains, it will change into corpus luteum. After this, the changes which are going to take place is due to the progesterone hormone which is produced by corpus luteum. So we call it luteal phase. Also we can call it secretory phase because corpus luteum is going to secrete a hormone, that is progesterone here. So this is due to the hormone progesterone which is coming from corpus luteum. Now this lasts from the 14th day. So if we go back, we calculate from there, so it will be 15th to 28th day. 14th ovulation has taken place, and if ovulation takes place on 15th, then this will be from 16th to 28th day of the cycle. This is how the 4 phases of menstrual cycle are, and now we will see the chart and the description of each phase in detail. Thank you.